Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at today. This is Sports Cards Live with Joe
and Doug.
And we're happy to be with you today. Today, Doug, we're going to be talking slabs, grading, all that good stuff, because there's nothing hotter in the industry than the graded card market. And so today we have with us some representative samples of the two other companies that we're now working with, both CSG and BGS. So, Doug, what are you? Tell me. We'll start off with. Go ahead.
Well, no, I know that people have questions.
Oh yeah.
PSA is not accepting submissions right now, except for
Super Express and above.
Super Express service. So we get questions. We talk to people all day, emails, phone calls, and everyone wants to know, why should I go to CSG or why should I go to Beckett? Should I wait for
PSA?
Right. And so I think we should let you know the good parts about these cards, because the two grading companies that we're going to talk about today are excellent companies, and both of them have a tremendous reputation in the industry, perhaps not in sports cards specifically for CSG.
Since they're new to that, yeah.
But Beckett definitely has been
around,
forever. So
yeah.
I think CSG is a good one to start with.
Because a lot of people are still learning, yes.
We've gotten back some of their holders now, and so we pass them around the shop, and we're oohing and eyeing, and because it's new, it looks different than we're used to. So what do you think about the new CSG slabs?
Yeah, I was just talking with a customer who wanted to submit some to CSG, and he wanted to see what the holder looks like. And I'll prop one up for us to zoom in on.
What you got there? You got
right here, we've got
Revolution basketball.
Yeah, we've got a 1920 Tyler Hero Revolution, which graded a CSG 9. This one did have subgrades added to it. Centering 9, corners 9, edges 9, surface 8.5. So, beautiful Tyler Hero card. This is an example, of course, where CSG did have they paid for subgrades. I'll go ahead and show you one beside it here that is a non-subgrade on a Gem Mint 1920 Mosaic Reactive Blue Cameron Johnson 9.5. Beautiful card. So, but I've been really impressed with, I like the holders. They're a hair thicker than PSA. I mean, the plastic feels a little bit thicker, not as thick as BGS, but it's a very nice case, very clear plastic. The grade is it's large. I mean, it's very easy to see. The grade pops very quickly.
And CSG, a Gem Mint in their grading system is a 9.5.
Just like BGS, correct.
So, whereas PSA's Gem Mint would have been a 10.
Correct.
But theirs is a 9.5, so that is a Gem Mint card right there.
Yes. Yeah, so there is a shot to get perfect 10s with CSG, but on Gem Mint, you got a 9.5. So, but I want to back up. We've shown you the holder a little bit, but as we zoom out, we'll tell you a little bit more about the company themselves, because CSG, for those who are new, it can be confusing because there's another grading company, SGC. The letters, of course, sound similar, but this is CSG. So I'm going to read a little bit from their website, and our whole goal today is to educate you, because I know dozens and dozens of you out there, you have cards, you want to get graded, you used to send them to us for PSA. Now you're like, as Doug said, do I hold them? Do I try one of these other companies? And so my goal, Doug's goal today, we're going to provide you information. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company behind CSG. This is straight off their website. The Certified Collectibles Group, CCG, is the world's leading provider of expert, impartial, and tech-enabled services that add value and liquidity to collectibles. The CCG companies include Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, Paper Money Guarantee, PMG, Certified Guarantee Company, CGC, Classic Collectibles Group, CCS, Certified Sports Guarantee, CSG, Authenticated Stamp Guarantee, ASG, and Collectibles Authentication Guarantee, CAG. Now get this, they've been around since 1987, the parent company has. Since 1987, the CCG companies have certified more than 60 million coins, banknotes, comic books, trading cards, stamps, estate items, and related collectibles. Today, these companies serve the world of collectibles online and at its offices in the U.S., United Kingdom, Germany, and China. So this is not a new kid on the block by any means to the collectibles industry.
And I know you've pointed out before that they've hired a few people with expertise. Some of the higher ups at Beckett, I believe, is working.
They hired one of the top graders from BGS, yeah, I know, as well as one of the top ones from PSA. And I don't know who all they've hired. I know some of them, but the point is for people who think, oh, that's this new company, because there are other new companies out there. I mean, and I'm not even going to go into those because I know nothing about them. I'm not going to promote a company I'm not familiar with. I know that this company, the parent company, again, they've been around in the collectibles industry since 1987. They've graded / authenticated over 60 million items. So, yes. Cards for since last year, but they're new to sports card grading, but they understand integrity when it comes to grading because they've done it. They have decades of experience of people trusting their grading services. So I believe they're going to bring the same thing to the table in the sports card field. Now time will tell what their cards are going to be worth. It's still very early.
Well, that is somewhat the most important question that's asked is, what's the value?
Where's my resale?
Yeah, and not everyone is out there for strictly resale. Some people are collectors and they keep their cards. They love them. I have a lot of cards that I wouldn't sell. And I can tell you I've sent many batches off to CSG, and that was before I saw their holder. And now that I've seen their holder and I'm lucky enough to touch and feel it, it's very nice, very nice, clear. The whole holder is clear, and I never noticed on PSA's holders before that it's a little bit frosted around the outline, which kind of makes the card pop. Yeah. It emphasizes the card, but in this case, I saw this card. This was the first CSG card I saw, and I thought, it's green. I don't like that color, blue card, but this particular card looks great in this holder. So, very durable. I really like the holders. I wished I would have gotten subgrades on some of mine now that I sent off. I think that's a really cool addition to the holders.
Yeah. Now, one other thing, we did talk about resale. It is funny, I've gotten some emails as we get them every day, and they're like, well, I'm not seeing the resale value as much as PSA. It's like, well, no, you're not. It's a brand new company to the sports card field. It's going to take time. Many collectors out there don't even know about the company. They don't know their history, and they don't have any of their cards in their hands. However, I can tell you we have had a number of people who were loyal PSA submitters who are still buying collections, and they don't want to wait until July or August or whenever PSA opens back up. So they've been sending us cards for CSG. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe PSA is still the industry leader. I believe they're going to stay there. The greatest demand for graded cards is PSA. And right now, Beckett is a clear number 2 right now. Time will tell what happens with a lot of these new companies and where they'll move up in the hierarchy. But I have been happy to see that. I give you one example. The other night I told you my son and I were bidding on a Donovan Mitchell CSG. Believe it was an orange. If I remember, it was an orange select orange, number to 75. And we had looked at comps, and a PSA had sold for, I think, about $1,200, and a BGS had sold for about $7. Again, some of them closed at different times, so there's other variables. So we thought, well, maybe we can get this CSG for $500-600. Ended up closing for over $800. So we were disappointed as buyers because we thought, hey, it's new, maybe the people don't know to bid, but it actually, that particular case brought more than the last BGS had sold. That's always not the case.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be. But I think that was a
not
good,
to say that it won't be the case.
We don't know.
Yeah, but that one instance was good, obviously good towards positive thoughts towards values on CSG.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And here's one of my predictions, because we still got to talk about BGS, and we're going to. One of my predictions, though, is that with PSA being shut down for April, May, June, possibly July, we don't know, as they're trying to get caught up, and collectors start submitting to these other companies. What happens when you start submitting somewhere? Suddenly, you have interest in buying those cards too.
Definitely.
So I mean, just like I was already looking at to buying some CSG, and I have a lot of Beckett in my collection as well. And so I think, and this is Joe's prediction here, no guarantees. This is not investment advice, but I think there's a really good chance you're going to see more parity in the market. Whereas PSA is here, and then you got BGS pricing, CSG, whatever. I think you're going to see some of these other legit companies like BGS, CSG, maybe move up a little closer to PSA levels.
I think so. The demand for all cards, whether it be wax, so much fun, graded cards, is so high right now. I know PSA is doing the right thing by catching their breath.
Right.
I wish
they're turning down profits to take care of customers.
I wish they wouldn't have, because everybody likes to keep doing the same thing, and it really was nice to get in that PSA cycle. But the demand is there for cards. There are so many people interested in sports cards right now. I don't think either of the other two grading companies is a bad investment.
Right.
With PSA's backlog, they're not going to catch up. Even when they start accepting new submissions, they're still going to be behind.
Correct.
But I still think it was a wise decision. It's tough to do something like that. If you've ever been owner of a company, it's hard to say, no, I don't want any more business. I mean, that's just not a very successful business model, perhaps. But I think they did the right thing.
I remember, Doug, a time we faced that. This was many years ago, and it was holiday season, and the volume was just insane, and we were falling behind on getting stuff out. And I literally, we're a big seller on Amazon, and I had to contact Amazon. I say, I need you to shut our listings down for 24 hours. And they're like, you know how much sales you are every day? I'm like, yes, I'm well aware, but I said, we're falling behind. We're not being able to honor the shipping that we need to. And so it was either 24 or 40, I don't remember. This was like in the 2006, 7. And I was just like, you just need to turn our listings off. And I hate it, because I even had employees saying, think of all this profit we're going to miss out on because we can't sell. I was like, I know, but I said, we can't have all these orders not get done. That's
Absolutely.
what PSA has done.
How many people are you irritating just to
Exactly.
get? I'd rather keep that customer happy.
Yes.
And catch our breath.
And that's what PSA is doing. They're basically saying it's better for us to get caught up as much as we possibly can in whatever time frame we take to do that before we give out false promises like, oh, send us more and more and more that we're not going to be able to get to. So I'm very happy with
All
that.
right, so we get sidetracked a lot, Joe. We're good.
Who, me?
We're good.
Who, me?
We're good with that.
Yeah, we got to talk about BGS.
We want to
so.
show some BGS off as
Yes,
well.
we
So
do.
let's take down the beautiful CSG
All right.
holders and put up some beautiful Beckett holders.
And BGS, if I'm correct, started grading around 2000, 2001. So they've been in the card grading business for around 20 years or so. And you go all the way back to the name on the holder. Most people know Jim Beckett's a good friend and think the world of him and the integrity he brought to the industry and all the things they did. And I actually just got to be on his podcast recently. And so he is no longer, he sold the company, but his name is still on the holder. And I know they take pride in representing the great legacy that he put there for all the years he led the company. And Beckett, let's talk about the holder. Still the strongest holder in the industry, thickest by far, most durable. Wouldn't want to get hit with one of these. So super, super nice case. So you're not going to have any issue with now. Some honestly say they're too thick. They like to be able to put more cards in their box, but it is a phenomenal quality holder. And so,
Well, what Beckett offers, amongst other things, is you can get the card graded, just like this Aaron Judge rookie card right here, and subgrades on it. This one happens to have 3 9.5s and a 9, which gave it a 9.5 gem mint grade. If the card is autographed, Beckett can grade the card and not look at the autograph. It's fine. They'll put a holder like this on it, and then they will also, if you pay a little extra, they will grade the autograph. Yeah. So you get a grade for the card as well as a grade for the autograph. And again, this one also has subgrades. I didn't bring any cards that didn't have subgrades with us, so we can't show them a blank one. I can probably go snag one of those, Joe.
Yeah, I think they can figure it out. That's fine. But understand, don't miss this important fact too. Beckett there are some world records in our industry that were set in Beckett graded holders. So that's important to me. There's some 7-figure sales in BGS holders. So biggest, PSA and Beckett are the only ones who can claim that. So.
What is the biggest sale? Was it a Beckett holder? Was the Trout in a Beckett holder?
The Trout was a Beckett. Honestly, I don't want to quote and say here because I've lost track because it seems like weekly there's another new record. But there have been some staggering sales in BGS holders.
Wasn't the Wagner the highest priced card for the longest time?
Right, and then the Trout surpassed that.
And now it's just
there's been some LeBron. I believe the world record was set in a BGS holder for a LeBron exquisite, and then it seems like it was passed by a Giannis card. So anyway, it seems to change weekly but my whole point is that the serious investors, people who spend 6 figures, 7 figures on graded cards, have no trouble buying ones in a BGS holder. So we have seen world records in BGS holders and PSA holders, and of course, again, CSG is new to the game. But I have no problem buying BGS cards from my own collection. I have a lot of them in my own collection. I have just recently, since PSA shut down, I've submitted a number of cards to BGS. I've submitted a number of cards to CSG. So, Doug, every day, just about when you come in, there's another batch for you. Doug handles our BGS submissions. You can tell him what you've been seeing come in.
It's what I see on the BGS side is flexibility and options. You get options with it. First of all, I don't believe CSG is doing autographs.
Right, not yet.
And thick cards.
Correct.
So I've been doing a number of autograph cards for autograph authentication as well as card grading. And I'm talking, they will authenticate or grade and authenticate booklets, multi-booklets, big cards. I've seen so much very nice trading cards, collectibles that we've been sending in to Beckett. The options that they offer as far as subgrades, whether you want them or not, being able to grade the autographs, being able to grade large cards. We were all excited to see some 1934 Gaudi cabinet cards or retail display. It's incredible. Customer would like those sent off to Beckett. I think that might be his only option because of the sizing and everything. But I like Beckett.
And because PSA's not taking them right now. Yeah.
Right now, not taking them. But so many options with Beckett as far as how you can choose to have your cards graded. Not knocking PSA, but PSA, I don't believe when they stopped taking submissions, they were doing autograph dual grading, or were they still doing dual?
They still were.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's nice that Beckett has so many choices for you. You can grade your entire collection through Beckett grading services.
Yeah, and I misstated one thing. You can send autograph cards to CSG. They're not providing a standalone autograph authentication slabbing like BGS does. And because here's an example of, this is a card of mine that I just had slabbed with BGS. It's a 97 scoreboard Kobe Bryant autograph. I don't know if we can zoom in on that one.
No, you have to put it back here. And
let's show that one off. It's a 97 Kobe Bryant scoreboard auto. and just had that one slabbed. The autograph grade graded a 9. We actually have a Beckett Authenticator come to our store to do in-store autograph authentication periodically, and that's a card that came from that.
Let's put this other one up here
Sure.
next to it, because not only did you have your Kobe authenticated, but it's also been graded.
Yeah.
And then we had a Casey Mize autograph. This is not an autograph card. Someone took the card to Casey, and Casey signed this card, and we had Beckett authenticate it. So this, no grade on the card, no grade on the autograph, just authenticating that is Casey's autograph right there. And when Charlie comes in from Beckett to review autographs, if it's on a card, you can have it encapsulated as part of the whole process while he's here.
Yeah. Well, he can't do it. He can't do the encapsulation here. Yeah, they can do the authentication, then send it off for slabbing. Yes. So that is another service that we offer through BGS. I guess one of the other big things, Doug, a difference, CSG, to compare the two, is doing a similar model to PSA in the sense that the cheaper the card, you have a chance to do the cheaper grading. However, with BGS, it's all based on turnaround time. So the higher you pay, the quicker the turnaround time. But if you want to send high dollar cards on slow service, you can. So that is one feature that a lot of people like about BGS, that, hey, I don't like that compared to PSA, because sometimes, like we just had a customer get back a Jordan rookie, it was because of the grade, it was $700
to grade one card through PSA.
Card. Yeah, and so with BGS, he could have done that for $30 to $40, depending on subgrades. It'd be a lot slower to get back. You're talking about a year versus 2 weeks, but
I hear the talk amongst customers. Some of them are not too pleased with upcharges and such. You don't have to worry about that with Beckett.
Yeah.
You put it on a standard service, which is their regular level, not an economy, but a standard service. They won't upcharge you just because the card is a high dollar value.
Right.
As Joe said, you can put it on the slower service if you want.
Yeah.
It's all based on service level. I don't know if it makes a difference, but in my mind, I like to think that when they're looking at a card, they're grading that card, and they don't know who's on that card. They're grading, the condition of the card.
Period. Yeah.
And so, again, a lot of chatter in the industry about, well, they're not going to grade these 10s because there's too many of them out there and this and that. And in my mind, if you worry about that, then Beckett might be the better choice for you to send your cards
if
to.
that's your concern.
If that's your concern.
Now, speaking on PSA's behalf, I've had many customers get back cards with upcharge, and they're like, yes, because they were thrilled to pay more because their card was worth so much more. But I do understand some, it kind of leaves a bad taste. They're like, wow, I got to pay that much more because it got a higher grade. It's like, it's not because it got a higher grade, it's because it's now worth that much more. So it's basically called value-based pricing, and that's very common in the industry, in other collectibles fields. The same thing, I do see that with comic grading and so forth. So CSG, if you look on our website, GotBaseballCards.com, you can grade cards as low as like $15. That covers grading, shipping, insurance, back and forth, CSG, shipping back to you. For cards valued up to $100, then there's the next tier up to $500 and so forth. And the other thing, we still provide free pre-screening, whether you send to BGS, whether you send to CSG, whether you send to PSA. And you can even send, if you want to send us one package, fill out one form for CSG, one package for BGS. And we had somebody last week send us some Super Express PSA, and then some CSG, and then some BGS, all in one shipment. So he only had to send one shipment. If you were to send those to the companies direct, you got 3 different shipments right there. So that's why we try to be your one-stop source.
We do a good job getting your cards processed. I forget what point I was about to make, Joe. You were just talking about
the value-based pricing, or the
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It happens all the time. But I think I was going to bring up something about the BGS. Anyway, we will continue on, and I'm sure it'll come to me after we get off there.
While we're talking BGS, let's provide a little education, because this is something else we get asked all the time. We haven't touched that much on the subgrades, But let's give you some examples here. I'm going to put up this Alvin Kamara again. This one has the 10 autograph subgrade, but we're going to focus on the real subs, the 4 different subs. This one's got centering 9.5, edges 9, corners 9.5, surface 8.5, and the overall grade is a 9. So what you typically see is a lot of people say, well, they should just average the grades. That's not how it works. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've got a gem mint card in every way other than a crease in the middle of the card. So you could have subgrades of 9.5, 9.5, 9.5, and then 3 on surface. So the card, though, is going to grade, probably like a 3.5 or 4.
Yeah, 4 at the most. Yeah, I think so.
So the thing is, it's not an average. You have to consider, because if that card were in a PSA holder with a big crease, it's not going to be higher than probably a 2 or a 3. So it's not an average. Understand that normally what we typically see, and I don't want to say this is always the case, but it's always the case for what I see. Typically the highest grade you're going to get here is no more than, like, your lowest subgrade's 8.5 or 8. You're normally never going to see higher than a 9 there. So you have to look at that lowest subgrade and know that you're only going to get a hair higher than that.
But Joe, in this case, if you would have not asked for subgrades, you would have still gotten a 9.
Correct.
I mean, there definitely is talk about people don't want the subgrades. It can devalue the card. Personally, I think the more information you have, the better. So it's going to be a 9 whether or not it has the subgrades, but at least now you kind of know why it got the 9. And
yeah, I mean, in general, like a gem mint 9.5 with subs is going to sell more than a 9.5 without subs.
Yeah.
However, there's also that train of thought is like, man, if they have to assign all those subgrades, they've got to really scrutinize it harder, and it may be a tougher, that's, again, just, people's ideas. There's no concrete evidence of that, but so there are a lot of things to weigh. The one thing, I'll tell you my model. I submit thousands of cards. My model in general, when I'm submitting $10 cards, my goal is I want to get them in a holder from a company that I trust as affordably as possible. So I either go right now, since I can't do PSA, I'll either do CSG no subgrades or BGS no subgrades. And it's stuff I'm typically not in a hurry on, so I'll do the slower service. Now, if like the other week, I think I gave, it was in a Dr. J rookie.
Yep.
A Dr. J rookie, we went BGS with subs
and
faster turnaround.
Standard service,
Yeah.
which is faster than their economy service.
So our goal is all about saving the customer's money. It's about you maximizing your return on your investment. I actually had to call a customer yesterday. He'd given us 10 or 12 cards. He wanted to pay for express service. He was going to be paying over $100 a card, and I was like, he didn't have anything worth over like $50 raw, and I'm like, you're going to be throwing a lot of money away. So he was like, thank you so much for educating me, and he dropped down, I think it was one of those submissions I gave you today, dropped down to a cheaper service, so he's still going to be able to affordably grade his cards, but at a more wiser price point. A little bit slower turnaround, but he's not going to be overpaying, because I hate to see customers. We've had customers send us dollar cards and say, "Oh, I want to pay $100 to grade it," and I'm like, "No, you really don't. You really don't."
Yeah, and we like information. Our form that you guys, the submission forms for both Beckett and for CSG, are on our website. Links to them are on our website, and filling those forms out as best you can, wonderful. But if you handwrite some notes on your submission form about specifics that you like please, I know these cards, this Jordan's a little rough, or this, I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan, grade that one anyway. It helps us to not have to make another call to you, because when we're rejecting cards, screening cards and looking at them, we look at them and we say, hey, this is going to be a 7 or lower. I wouldn't be happy with that. And if the customer says, no, that's my guy, I want them all, I'm getting all of these graded, then we don't have the I'm rejecting it, and then you say, oh, please grade that one, and then it goes into another batch. It just separates some of your cards.
Yep.
More information, the better.
Yep.
I've opened up a lot of packages, and a lot of you send notes along with it, and I can tell you that we read every one of them. The thank yous are much appreciated. We really do enjoy helping you and processing your cards, and it's always nice to hear thank you. So you're welcome, and thank you also.
Yeah. So bottom line today, we've covered a lot of information. There are at least 2 other really good alternatives that we recommend during the PSA shutdown. We've spent some time on this. We've been doing some research on our end. We've been submitting our own cards to both companies. We've been talking to both of the companies about what's going on there. And we've been watching the market to see what the resales are going to be and so forth. And again, it's still very early for CSG. I can't wait for our first large shipment to do an unboxing for you.
Which should be soon, actually. It should be pretty soon.
And we're going to be judging them just like collectors will be. Like, wow, were they really tough on this one? Should this have been a gem mint, whatever. And so looking forward, hopefully, to showing off a bunch of gem, because we looked them over. So hopefully we get a bunch of gem mints and some 10s as well. But the bottom line is, if you're desperate to get your cards graded, you don't want to wait till July or August and then wait another 8 or 9 months after that. You're talking next summer probably to get your cards back on the basic services. We believe we have 2 great alternatives for you. A number of customers are already taking advantage of both CSG and BGS. We have all the information on our website. We had a submitter today send us 400 cards for CSG. We've had some very large shipments for BGS come in as well. So we don't want you to sit there on the sidelines when you've got cards that need to get graded. So we are here to help you. We're here to help advise you and guide you. And so get those cards sent out, get those forms printed out and sent in to us. And we can be happy to answer. I don't know if we got any questions on the live stream right now. We're happy to answer those for you. But otherwise, you can shoot us emails. Our team is monitoring those emails 25 hours a day, give or take.
Where's that other hour, Joe? I know you have 25 hours in your day.
Yeah. We just try to cram that many in. But no, they do monitor the emails throughout the work day at GotBaseballCards@gmail. So, and don't forget, check out our site. We've got lots of new products. We showed off a couple. We even got in a 93 Finest box. You never see those things. Bought that this week in a collection. Definitive baseball, Prism basketball, certified basketball. Lots of great new products coming every week at Got Baseball Cards, and some of them don't last long. Definitive, we already sold case. Didn't get much of it. It'll be gone quick. So
it's just supply and demand, Joe. There's so much demand out there.
Yeah.
Get it when you see it. Graded cards, both CSG and Beckett's and PSAs that we're getting back. You go to a show, some of these local shows that they're having again, you'll sell them. You'll sell out. I mean, it is incredible, the demand out there for cards. So that's all good. We love it. So glad that it's going on.
Yeah. So we are here for you. Anything we can help you, don't hesitate to give us a call or shoot us an email. And we will be back again this week. We have a number of PSA shipments coming back, so we'll be doing some more live unboxings for you, and hopefully we'll be doing some BGS and CSG unboxings very soon as well. So hope this has been helpful to you. Again, don't hesitate to send us those questions, and tune in next time at GotBaseballCards.com and on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks so much, everybody.